Greetings, everybody. Welcome. It's week 2, and I apologize for not getting this video up earlier. This weekend was just a little bit crazy with the cold weather and the holiday, and we lost one of our puppies this week. So it's been an odyssey, but we are back, and let's take a look at what's happening in week 2. All right. Okay, so I always like to start these by looking a little at the calendar and reminding everybody kind of where we are. So we are learning about researching and writing about literature, but also just researching and writing in general, because your first paper is going to be on a topic of your own choosing. So it may or may not have to do with works of literature. Ultimately, of course, this is composition literature, so we're going to be learning about that as well. So this week in the learning materials, you're going to get information about research and documenting sources, reminders about how to document sources. Um, and then this week's assignments that are due are a discussion board on the research process and then the research concepts quiz. Sorry, my uh, phone was making noise. Anyway, so those are the 2 assignments that are going to be due this week. And then you will be working on this same project for the next 2 weeks. So next week, you're going to be doing an annotated bibliography, and then you will have the essay itself. So let's take a look at the modules and enter week 2. So under the overview and learning materials, of course, as we went over last week, you do have some things to read and look at. These are mostly PDF handouts that I have created. So you've got research review, student guide to academic research, reading and responding to fiction, which will be one of our first things that we do when we get to the literature aspect. There's a whole lesson on how to do internal documentation. You should remember it from 1101, but sometimes that's challenged. So good reminders there. And then I've also got a handout that we're going to be doing some presentations during this class. So I just put this one here. It'll come back up again, but Presentations 101 is about how to package information specifically in presentation form. Your first thing is not a presentation, it's bibliography and then a paper. But anyway, that will be something that will come in handy down the road as well. You also have a couple of videos to watch, one on research in general and one on doing an annotated bibliography. Your annotated bibliography isn't due until next week, but this way you'll kind of have some information to get started with that. We've got some reading assignments from the LibGuide, specifically getting started, and then the MLA and APA basics, which all have some subsections to them. I've also given you a link to the library tutorials page, which has really good information on databases and, of course, all aspects of citation, MLA and APA. I mentioned MLA here because that's mostly what we're going to use in ENC 1102. However, you will have the option in your first, in the annotated bibliography and the paper of using APA if your subject matter is relevant for that. And we'll talk about that a little bit more next week and the week after. But that's where we are for right now. In terms of the assignments themselves, if we go to the modules again, of course, the discussion board is going to be fairly self-explanatory. After having reviewed the related course materials, write a short essay detailing the process of writing a researched essay, include planning, drafting, documentation, and revision. Okay, so once you've done that, you can earn some extra points if you respond to 2 of your classmates within a week after it's due. The initial response, of course, isn't due until this coming Sunday, which is the 26th, I believe. And then you would have a week after that to respond to others. And then, of course, the other assignment is in quiz format. But as I mentioned with the scavenger hunt quiz, The quizzes are not meant to be quizzes in the sense of you have to memorize a bunch of stuff and regurgitate it. You can stop, you can look things up, you can do whatever you need to. Consider it like an open book quiz. Okay, so take your time with it. Make sure that you answer all the questions and you will be good. You can also note that the next 2 weeks have been posted and published now. So if you want to take a look ahead at the bibliography assignment and the research review essay, you can do that. But I will be coming back on next week, early this week, that week, I promise, to talk about those assignments in more depth. So in the meantime, I hope you have a good week and I will see you next Monday.